Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite day part of the week, my favorite part of the week. The Brother Boys are back to recap this week's slate of the NFL football, starting with this week 3. Where is it? Sunday Night Football matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Atlanta Falcons. Steven, hello. How are you?
I'm a little perturbed. I'm a little full at the same time. It's hard to breathe. Feels like I'm giving birth, but I'm not. Just saying, after the show, a turtle head may be poking out.
All right. The FSU boy, has he come back and eaten the shit yet?
No, he's still missing.
Still missing. Didn't what was it, Memphis have a guy who had to go shove a 5-layer burrito up his ass?
He's Kansas State. He's got to shove a five-layer beef burrito up his ass. Taco Bell.
Hey, he went and got it, so the rest is history there. We don't really need to see anything else. Let's talk about this game here. Kansas City Chiefs, Atlanta Falcons. Let's just talk about what just happened. What was it, 4th and 1 on the what, 12?
Yeah.
And with all 11 defensive players in the box, they run a pitch left.
They line up in a near. It wasn't a pitch. It was fucking near. They had both fucking running back. Algier and Bijan in the backfield. Algier's behind Kirk and fucking Bijan's next to Algier, and they just fucking hand it off. They know Kirk Cousins is not going to go for a quarterback sneak because he's immobile at this point, coming from this Achilles injury. So the defense did not fear a QB sneak. So why would you not just come out and spread them out with Bijan out there and do something to get them involved? Get your playmakers involved.
Something I've noticed about Bijan Robinson since the beginning of this season, because I don't take his rookie year as a thing. I don't think his rookie year really happened because Arthur Smith is just that fucking stupid. But he does the absolute most or the least with all of the carries that he gets that I think I've ever seen. Every time he touches the ball, he's just short. He just doesn't really get the space or anything.
No, he couldn't run the ball this week. Last week they couldn't stop him. Last week he couldn't. The Eagles, he had his way with the Eagles. This week,
the Eagles, yeah.
This week they were shut down. The Chiefs shut him down.
Shout out to Spags because he was throwing everything that he had at this fucking Falcons team at the end of this game.
But the thing about Bijan is he's a receiver too. So
yep, and they're not using him in the pass game enough.
Yeah, not using him in the pass game enough. You're starting to figure out Drake London. You're starting to figure out Kyle Pitts. Now you got to start to figure out how to use Bijan Robinson in the backfield, coming out the backfield, or just lining him up as wide receiver.
The Falcons team's had a tough stretch of games that they've had to play where they place that Steelers defense right away. They come on Monday Night Football, beat the Eagles, and then have Sunday night against the defending champs. I'm sure the rest of their schedule will start to, you got the Saints next and the Bucks and the Falcons. It starts to lean out a little bit.
No, they had a tough first part of their division to make it of the season to make it out at least 1-2. Instead of 0-3, they could have been 2-1 because they should have won this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this is the second time the Chiefs have escaped by the hairs of their chinny chin, barely. But we'll see. The Chiefs are 3-0.
Travis Kelce looked old,
non-existent.
He looks washed. He's like
time to retire and become a house husband.
Yeah,
said it last week.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons there. So, but he's not. 2 years ago, he could beat those guys. Now he's.
It's not the same. But this Chiefs team, like, so far out of all the AFC East or the AFC teams that I've seen, none of them look like a juggernaut. They all have shown weakness. And it's good to see that there's a little bit of parity, because I don't like that for a while it seemed like this team was gonna just beat the fuck out of everybody.
Championship teams, they always find a way to win.
Yep.
Whether you're not a team or it's a close game and you just find a way to win. That's what championship teams do. Just find a way to win. The defense shuts them down. Terrible play call at the end there. I don't know who their offense coordinator is, but you can't call that play there.
Can't call that fucking play.
Not with two timeouts.
All right. Jets 24, Patriots 3. Boy, was this game fun. This game was the most fun I think I've ever had watching a Jet game in my adult life. Because for the first time since I've been an adult, the Jets beat the Patriots at home. It's wonderful to see. Aaron Rodgers had himself a fucking game where Aaron Rodgers started to look more like Aaron Rodgers. And I'm telling you these because we went to the Big E on this day. I'm just like, listen, if Aaron Rodgers finds a way to beat the dog shit out of the Jets tonight, we beat out of the Patriots tonight, we might have a problem. She said, what do you mean? I was like, this is the most important game on my schedule. This is the single most important game on my schedule because we have to exercise our demons. We have to get this monkey off our back. Yeah, we brought Bill and that regime behind the woodshed like old Yeller last year, but we have to get the monkey off our back. We need to start our own streak and end that shit because it's all people fucking talk about. And all Mina Kimes and the media kept talking about is, the most underrated defensive unit in football is the fucking Patriots. Oh, the Patriots, they run the ball really well. They average X amount of yards per carry, and the Jets don't. Steven, what did that Patriots defense do?
They didn't do jack shit. Stevenson had 0.3 points in fantasy football because he could not run the ball.
Ramondre Stevenson couldn't do shit. He fumbled. Gibson couldn't do shit. The defense couldn't do shit. Aaron Rodgers was running. He ran 3 first downs.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers looked like he was fucking 10 years younger against this fucking Patriots team.
I'd be fucking giddy like a kid.
He looked like I'm like, this guy, Aaron Rodgers is running around like he's freaking 10 years younger. And the Patriots are basically those first 2 teams they played as like, none of those guys in those teams played in the preseason, and they look good, they look respectable. This game, this game is like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's better that they're not playing Drake May right now because the way Brissett was getting killed, and then even though they put Drake May in,
he also got killed.
He also got a fucking Batista style spine buster.
Jamien Sherwood, shout out to Jamien Sherwood, filling in for the injured CJ Mosley. He hasn't really played NFL football like that because he got drafted as a safety in the 4th round, I think 4 years ago, and he converted to linebacker, and he's just been sitting behind CJ and Quincy for the last 3.5 years, and turned himself into quite the football player. We've been just sitting and learning behind those guys, so shout out to him.
Still 27 straight games where Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown for over 300 yards.
Listen, he tried. He absolutely tried on that last drive, which was really it was cool to see that he was going for it, but it just didn't work out. Rodgers was awesome. This offense, when Aaron Rodgers feels comfortable, which he finally looks like he feels comfortable because week 1 he was still getting used to it. Week 2 was a little bit of because that Titans defense is pretty good, but this week, he just came in and was like, well, this week is a little different when they had to be on the field the whole fucking game. He came into this game and was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going. We're just doing it. And he did all of this, all this damage without Garrett Wilson. Garrett caught a touchdown. He only had a couple catches, but Garrett Wilson was the afterthought here in the offense because he was doubled all of the time. Once these teams stop doubling Garrett Wilson because Aaron Rodgers is just going to give it to everybody, Garrett's going to eat. Because everybody else is having a great time. Breece Hall's having a good time. Braylon Allen's having a good time. Allen Lazard leads the NFL in touchdown catches.
Allen Lazard only works with Rodgers.
Works with Rodgers. I've already sent him to the sun. I've already killed him.
That shit only works with Rodgers. There's some receivers that Aaron Rodgers had at Green Bay. They leave. They go someplace else and they suck. And they would come back to Green Bay and they're like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, and they're good again. They only work for Aaron Rodgers. Allen Lazard is one of those guys because what the hell was he doing last year?
Last year he led the NFL in drops. What a turnaround that this had.
You see it happen at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Rodgers and Allen Lazard look at each other, and it's a fucking run play, but he just throws it to him. The corner's like fucking 10 yards off. I see them both look at each other. Lazard looks at him, and Aaron Rodgers looks at him, and when he snaps the ball, he just throws it immediately to fucking Lazard at the line of scrimmage, and he fucking goes and gets like 8.
Stiff arms, gets the touchdown. I've never in my life seen quarterback play like this for the Jets. Never. Like, the Favre year was probably the closest thing I think I've ever gotten to this.
Yeah, that crazy that Fitzpatrick year.
That one Fitzpatrick year, but I never felt like. But you know how I felt about Fitzpatrick. Everybody was kind of like, yeah, he's doing that thing where he's playing really well. He gets a contract and he's gonna play like shit, and that's exactly what happened. That's why I didn't want to pay him. But like, even in that Fitzpatrick year, he wasn't as good as this.
No,
he wasn't even close to being as good as this. Now it's just like, all right, we beat the dog shit out of them. We got Denver next, so I would love to see, because the Denver defense is fucking good. That's a good Denver defense. So I would love to see Rodgers do some more of this shit here, and then we get a fun one in Minnesota and London. Because that Minnesota team's fucking good. That Minnesota team is much better than I thought they were.
Their defense is really good.
They are much better than I thought they were. Giants-Browns. Giants 21, Browns 15. The Giants did everything they could to try to lose this game at the end. Everything they could. Because it started off with a fumble on the kick return, first play touchdown by the Browns, and then Deshaun Watson fucking sucks.
And he ends the ball. Jerome Ford, he fumbles the ball on the handoff exchange. People are tweeting, it's like, we watched the Cleveland Browns, and you wonder why everybody in Ohio is such Ohio State fans.
This shit's terrible. Malik Neighbors fucking balled out. Daniel Jones threw some bad fucking passes, and Malik Neighbors was just unreal. Unreal. He has that one like pirouette, like 360 catch to the fucking left corner of the end zone because that ball was just so poorly thrown. Luckily, Malik Neighbors is a fucking athletic freak, which was unreal. Devin Singletary busting out like a 45-yard run at the end of the game just to do the Maurice Jones-Drew thing he did fucking 12 years ago against the Jets. I'll never forget of him just taking the knee at the one.
Hey, if you score the touchdown there, it doesn't matter.
Anthony,
what are you gonna fucking?
Anthony messages the group chat and he's just like, "Oh, Dylan, I thought the Giants weren't good." I'm like, "They're not good.
They're not good."
But this Browns team's also not good. I didn't say the Giants wouldn't win a game. I'm just saying they're just not that good.
The Browns are bad.
The Browns are terrible.
Deshaun Watson contract is gonna they have to play him. It's fully guaranteed, and every quarterback that gets paid. This is what happened with Dak's contract. He wanted $1 more million guaranteed than Deshaun Watson, but it's not fully guaranteed. But he got $1 more million guaranteed than Deshaun Watson. Every quarterback that feels like they're better than Deshaun Watson is going to want to get paid more than his fucking fully guaranteed contract. And this is what you're going to run into in the future.
The Giants really just gave the Browns the ball like 3 times in the last 5 minutes of this game.
Because Amari Cooper was making some great catches this fucking game. And they just couldn't get
nothing you can do. This is the fucking stink bowl.
Their defense is not as good. It's not the same.
Nope. The Giants defense came to play.
Yeah, they're
defense got like 8 sacks.
Defensive linemen actually had sacks this game.
I know. They took advantage. They absolutely took advantage of this Browns team, and this Browns team stinks. They were totally set up for regression, and I don't think enough people really noticed that, including myself. So they fucking stink.
Deshaun Watson hasn't played anything near that one game where his last game he played last season where he looked like Deshaun Watson, but he ended up getting hurt that game and fucking missing the rest of the season. So
Eagles 15, Saints 12. Nick Sirianni is gonna get himself fired.
This is the most horrible coached game I've ever watched on both sides of the fucking football. Jalen Hurts is, side note, Jalen Hurts has had the most turnovers since the beginning of last season. And has turned the ball over, thrown an interception in 7 straight games. Saquon Barkley bailed out the Eagles this game because Sirianni and Kellen Moore were doing everything they can to fucking get the Eagles to lose this game. And on the other side, Clint Kubiak had a bad play calling game today because Vic Fangio was playing 5 guys or 6 guys on the line, daring them to throw the ball because the Eagles were dead last against the run after the first 2 weeks. They could not stop the run. And they would have 5 guys, 6 guys on the line of scrimmage to stop the fucking run. And they would not throw the ball. Because they're scared. I guess they're scared of Derek Carr. Now crime's going to go back up in this city.
This game was so weird. Like, I'll do the same thing I did the last 2 weeks. Saquon Barkley's awesome, right? If you're the Giants and you keep seeing what Saquon Barkley's doing for this Philadelphia Eagles team, you're just like, fuck. Like, why couldn't we do this again here with us? Because Saquon Barkley is the only reason they're winning these games.
And this is the reason why I told everybody, oh, Kellen Moore's a quarterback. Oh, they got Saquon now. Yeah, he's not going to get the ball. Saquon Barkley did not get a carry until the second quarter. They did not have a carry from Saquon Barkley until the second quarter of the game. And it's still 17 carries. You already mentioned A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts' decision-making is bad.
Devontae Smith is out, left the game with concussion.
Devontae Smith died on the field. A.J. Brown's already out.
They lost Lane Johnson and Mekhi Becton.
Dennis Allen on defense could not figure out for the life of him to stop the fucking 5-yard crosser or the fucking tight end in the flat to save their life.
Oh, Dallas Goedert on that one play was just wide the fuck open.
Yeah,
for like 45 yards.
Yeah, the last play to win them the game. And the stupid, idiotic fucking play calls. Like, the Eagles should have won this game by more points. They just kept leaving points. They left like 9 points out. They kept going for it on 4th down. It's not like their kicker's bad.
No, Jake Elliott's a good kicker.
A good kicker. He missed one kick today, but listen, how many times you get a field goal range and you fucking just went and you called him? So Sirianni goes for it, but Kellen Moore is not good at situational football. So he always calls the wrong fucking play, and it kept getting stop. What the fuck does Jalen Hurts do best? RPO, zone read. That's all you got to do. The tush push. They come out of a tush push and do a fake tush push. It gets shut the fuck down. I'm like, that's not the time to call that. Every play call on 4th down by Kellen Moore was terrible.
That game sucked. That was an awfully coached game. That game, like the Saints offensively, after being like the best offensive team in football,
dominated that game. That whole time.
Almost lost.
And for their coaches to fuck things up, I'm like, oh my God. and Saquon bailing him out with that freaking 60-yard run. Saquon is the only reason they won that game against the Saints.
Vikings 34, Texans 7. Remember when I said no teams in the AFC look like they're like this juggernaut? Mm-hmm. This Texans team over the last 3 weeks has looked very beatable, and they got away with two games in week 1 and week 2.
The first week they were really good.
They were good, but that Colts team played really well.
When Joe Mixon went down last week, that's when the fucking shit started to fucking fall down. Mm-hmm. Like, this was one of CJ Stroud. This is probably his worst game he's ever played. But
this game and the Jet game last year,
and his disciples, there's 3 defense coordinators they struggle against. They struggle against Spagnuolo. They struggle against Jim Schwartz, and they struggle against Brian Flores.
Because, boy, was this one of those games. CJ Stroud was in hell all game.
He was in hell all game. The Vikings defense is legit.
Mm-hmm.
We can play Sam Darnold all you want. Sam Darnold, all he has got to do is be a competent quarterback, just be average. Because their defense, adding Stephon Gilmore with their defense was genius. They just shutting shit down. They're just wreaking havoc all over the place. They had fucking CJ Stroud looking like a rookie today. They took away. They said, we're not going to give you Nico. You got the key to the Texans is taking away Nico Collins. You take away Nico Collins, then they're going to make old man Diggs be the fucking leading receiver. You have to take away Nico Collins.
They were down big early. It's hard to say, like, nobody had an answer for Justin Jefferson because obviously he's Justin Jefferson, but like Justin Jefferson was doing whatever the fuck he wanted in that first half. He did everything he wanted.
Aaron Jones
too, man. Like
Justin Jefferson.
Sam Darnold is the one that got away. I say this every time we talk about Sam Darnold. He's the one that got away because he has all the talent in the world, but was given dog shit to start his career with us. And Roz in the group chat today was like, man, we could have really just skipped this whole Zach Wilson era, kept Sam Darnold and gotten like Penei Sewell. And I'm like, damn well we wouldn't have gotten this version of Sam Darnold because he went to quarterback school in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, relearned how to play position.
Well, he went to quarterback school. He went to Carolina, and
then he still kind of sucked there.
But coach got fired, and then Steve Wilkes was there, and they were playing good. Then he went to San Francisco. He went to quarterback school, but O'Connell was a McVay guy, so you went to Shanahan and McVay school to learn.
And he got a 4-year degree and then went to graduate.
It also helps when you have Justin, the best receiver in the NFL. Just throw him the fucking ball.
And their offensive line's playing well.
Yeah,
their offensive line's playing well. Their defense is playing well.
If he keeps this up, I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to see the fucking field.
No, Sam Darnold's going to fuck around and get himself a contract. Which
and he will be a cheap contract.
Which I hate to do this, but this is like the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing for me all over again because I don't know how much of this Sam Darnold you're going to keep getting.
They play the Packers next week, so it's still wait and see. I still don't. He's not over the Kirk Cousins threshold yet. He's still below.
But he's looking real good, man. He's looking real good.
But here's the thing: it's got to be when everything's not when Aaron Jones can't run the ball.
Yeah, we need to see the adversity.
We need to see him. We need to see some adversity. What's he going to do? Is he going to be how he's playing now, or is he going to start seeing ghosts?
Because right now they're a front runner.
Yeah,
they're front running hard right now. So once we can see him with some adversity, once there's people in his face again, because nobody knows that Sam Darnold better than me. But I love what I'm seeing out of Sam Darnold. I want more of this for Sam Darnold because it makes me feel vilified that, like, hey, I knew he was the one. It's just he dealt the shit hand to start his career. So shout out to the Vikings. I know Julius, our nephew, is ecstatic.
When they play the Packers next week, I believe.
And then they got the Jets right after, so we'll see.
Yeah, they play the Packers.
Let's confirm. Oh no, that's not what I want.
Yeah, because next week's a double Monday night thing.
Yep, they got Packers on Sunday.
Yeah,
Packers Sunday, and then us the following Sunday.
Or the Packers, it's going to be
Broncos 26, Buccaneers 7. When we were going through the slate of games last Wednesday, I looked at Mike and I said, I don't like this slate of games at all. All this is all fucked up. I don't like any of these games. We got bad Baker today. The Bucks defense wasn't very good today. They couldn't get the pressure, and when they did, Bo Nix just started running.
Yeah, Bo Nix was running all over the place. But here, Surtain shut down Mike Evans today. He shut his ass down.
Yes, he did. Boy, did he.
Here's the thing. I said it last week. Baker does good when there are no expectations. And when you put expectations on him, that's when he starts to struggle. The Baker and the Bucks are expected to beat the fucking Broncos.
Todd Bowles got outcoached this game.
Yes.
Todd Bowles got outcoached this game for sure.
The Bucks and Baker Mayfield are expected to beat the Broncos coming into this game. And what happens when there's expectations? He goes down. Plus the Bucks are a very slow team. They have nobody that's fast on their fucking offense. And if you take out their fucking they got Mike Evans, they got Chris Godwin, but they're not blowing past you. The running back
guys.
When they fucking
Bucky Irving's got a little bit of speed, but that's not expected. They also don't run the fucking football.
They don't run the ball. Baker's their fucking leading rusher right now. They don't run the ball. There's nobody you fear like, oh, they're gonna roast me. No, they're fast. They have nobody fast on their team. They're slow, and their defense is the same thing. They're older on their defense. They have some young guys on there, but they're slow.
This was a good game for Bo Nix. I watched a good amount of this. Bo Nix looked fine. He was able to find Courtland Sutton a good amount.
The running game for Denver is the one that helped him today too.
I mean, hey, how do you help a young quarterback? You play defense and you run the football. Make it easy for him. I still don't like that Bo Nix is throwing the ball 30-something times a game, but
that's Sean Payton.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. At this point, there's only one rookie quarterback who's thrown a touchdown so far, and it's not Bo Nix, and we'll get to that game shortly. Hopefully it's next, depending on what this nope, not next. Oh, let's go to the fucking wellness check on Mike.
Game.
I asked Mike, when do you move on to Mason Rudolph, and he said to me, Dylan, respectfully, not now. So I will ask again on Wednesday. Like, I won't say this whole game is on Will Levis, but he's not doing himself any favors.
Malik Willis, hey, he got
had himself a game.
He got coached like you fucking should have never fucking got rid of me. You should have been playing me. So here's the thing, though. When Mike Vrabel was the coach and they had to play Malik Willis that year, and I remember Collinsworth was begging something, can you run a zone read? Are you guys going to run a zone read? And they're like, no, we're not going to run zone read. Why not? Why are you going to make this guy stationary? You expect him to play like that? No, you got to get him on the run. What do the Packers do today? They ran zone reads. Make it easy for them.
All up and down. Malik Willis had his way with this team, and I love that for him. The Titans also couldn't keep their defense off the field at all.
Listen,
they got fucking dominated. Like, time of possession was crazy, but 32-27. But the Titans offense wasn't doing anything. They just weren't doing anything. Yeah, Will Levis threw 2 touchdowns. Great.
You can't run the ball.
He looked not good.
You can't run the ball, and you don't run the ball.
Yeah, you can't have this many weapons that the Titans have and then have it get fucked up by your quarterback.
Does Calvin Ridley did Calvin Ridley even get on the field today?
He did. 1 catch for 9 yards.
There's one thing about this Packers defense is they're kind of overrated.
Mm-hmm.
They had a bad play caller who they got rid of finally to bring in another bad play caller to replace him. And you just literally Jair Alexander, who if you've been paying attention the last couple of years, he's kind of been overrated and he's been getting toasted a lot, blah, blah, blah.
But he has a couple games a year where it's like, there he is again.
Yeah. And then this was a game where he's just literally Will Levis is staring fucking Hopkins down.
That interception was so fucking bad. So bad. Ugh. And it's like, again, they didn't lose this game because of Will Levis, but Will Levis didn't do himself any favors.
Will Levis is adding on to his meme streak. He had 3 memes a day.
The only reason they haven't benched him is because they have Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph plays good when he plays. Every time he's played for Pittsburgh, he wins the game for him.
Yeah, but he also spent 5 years there, so he knew the offense and everything.
And here's the other thing. If you had to play 4 games with a backup quarterback, what do you want your record to be? 2-2?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Packers are 2-0. So if you have to play, if you walk out, if Jordan Love only misses 2 more games and you walk out fucking 2-2, and so you end up being 2-3, you're sitting pretty good.
Yeah. Shout out to the Packers. Shout out to Malik Willis winning the Malik Willis revenge game. Bears Colts. Let's talk. We talked about the worst coach game of the week. Let's talk about the worst quarterback game of the week.
On both sides I have ever seen in my life.
Caleb Williams makes it so fucking hard to root for him. So hard because this guy's fucking stupid.
Caleb Williams. Yes, the Bears line sucks. But the play, I said it last year. I'm like, Ryan Poles needs to get fired. Those are trades he's made. Yeah. How about you upgrade your fucking offensive line? What good is getting all these receivers if you can't throw to them because your quarterback's dead? Or you can't run the ball. Yeah, you can't run the ball because every time you try to do a handoff or a fucking speed option, there's fucking 10 guys in the backfield. There's no room. And Caleb Williams, he's starting to look like a bust. Because Odunze, if Odunze wasn't a rookie and he was a veteran receiver, he would have been freaking chewing his ass out if he was like a fucking diva receiver.
If he was Keenan Allen?
Yeah. Because Odunze should have had 250 yards receiving. There's a lot of plays where he was open where Caleb would just throw it out of bounds or overthrow it by 80 yards or just nowhere near
that. Overthrow was crazy.
Odunze was open a lot this game. This was the Rome Odunze game. He was open. And on the other side, Anthony Richardson, we called this. I called this when
we did. No, we did. We absolutely did.
Because I'm like, why? I didn't understand why they had him as a first round pick. Why do people fucking grade guys who don't play? okay, Jalen Hurts, when he was played 4 years, we know how bad he was at Alabama, but he went to Oklahoma, he went to the Big 12, and he played okay. And he was only a second-round pick. You got guys like Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson who only play like 8 college games.
Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance, who does it at fucking North Dakota State University.
And Anthony Richardson, they only play like 8 college games, and they're fucking top 5 picks. You have them top 5 picks as what potential? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, but you have Jalen Hurts, and he could only go up to the second round, but you have these guys on fucking potential on 8 games as a top 5 pick. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't get it, because and everybody, that week 1 throw is the one that keeps getting referenced here. Is like, holy shit, that's a crazy throw. Like, that's just you're just bragging about how good your arm is with that play with a fucking defensive lineman in your face doing that shit. But it's like, he made that play and then immediately started throwing interceptions.
Anthony Richardson makes throws 100% of the quarterbacks can't make. Anthony Richardson can't make throws 100% of the quarterbacks can make. This is what it is. If you saw this in college, in the 8 limited games, 9 limited games he played, he has no touch on the football. I don't like his delivery, how it looks like when his arm motion is, and everything's a fucking fastball. There's no touch on his fucking throws. So the Colts are going to be looking. What the Colts, at one point, I texted you, there should not be a pass called for the rest of this game.
No.
From the because both these quarterbacks were playing terrible. It's like, what quarterback was going to play the worst? At least a little bit best. The Colts have oh, wait a minute. We have Jonathan Taylor. Why don't you just fucking run Jonathan Taylor? Okay. Yes, he had 23 carries. Yeah, because your father figured out, maybe we should throw the ball at Anthony Richardson no more.
I know the Bears line is bad, but that doesn't excuse Caleb Williams from trying to be Superman.
Also runs into fucking, when it actually does he runs into fucking.
I have to always preface this because with Anthony doesn't watch college football, so he's like, "Oh, Dylan, that Bears offensive line is not good." I'm just like, listen, Caleb has never had a good offensive line. Ever since Caleb left Oklahoma, he never had a good offensive line. So this is the type of football that Caleb has played his entire football career, for the most part, where he's on the run, he's moving, he's backyard football, he's all these things. You could get away with that shit in college. You can't get away with that shit here.
He runs into pressure, like one play where there was no pressure on him. He just does a Tony Romo spin to a left, and the guy there, and then he tries to run, and I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? So
it's horrifying.
Even when he gets protection, he runs himself into pressure. So he's always facing pressure. Like, that fucking USC shit don't work in the NFL.
It's my biggest gripe with Caleb coming out was, I don't know how Caleb is going to look in a structured offense, because all of his shit that made him look unreal happened with him on broken plays. And you can't just keep making your career on broken plays. That's what Johnny Manziel did all in college. All Johnny Manziel did was broken plays. He's a Mike Evans merchant.
The coach, his coaching is bad. Eberflus, he should be fired.
And again, this could all be fixed if they just fucking fire Matt Eberflus and then hire the Lions offensive coordinator as their head coach.
This is that fourth down would they went for it on 4th and goal.
Oh, the fucking 4 straight run plays?
The speed option when they had no fucking timeouts, and they ended up getting the ball back with whatever. But like, what are you doing? Just fucking line up and throw. Like, you can't run the ball.
You can't protect. Just stop trying to protect him. He's going to throw an interception if he's like in any other way. At least use the fucking end zone as a boundary.
Yeah.
Like, he can always throw the ball out of the back of the end zone. At least give him that fucking, like,
and another thing is you got to design QB runs. Get him out there. Get him out there. What are we doing? Because now you know what you're doing. You're looking like, damn, Justin Fields looks good. DJ Moore did not want fucking Justin Fields to fucking get traded. And DJ Moore is getting tired of Caleb. He looks like he fucking hates Caleb Williams. And Justin Fields looks good. And let me tell you what, Russell Wilson, he ain't getting that job back.
Speaking of Justin Fields looking good, Steelers 20, Chargers 10. Let me tell you what Arthur Smith has been doing over the last 3 weeks. Arthur Smith has done a great job of protecting Justin Fields from the strengths of the defenses he's playing. That's why in week 1, he only threw to the sidelines. That's why week 2, he started to float it over. And the weakness of this Chargers defense is their middle of the field. And this is where Justin Fields did most of his damage, was in the middle of the field on these linebackers. And Derwin James made a couple dumb plays today.
Derwin James, there's a lot of Chargers dumb plays on their defense that just get extended drives. And that throw to fucking Calvin Austin third.
Unreal. That was a great throw. Great throw. Like, there's no way if you were on the Bears team last year with Fields and with Caleb right now that you didn't see this game and you were like, fuck.
But Justin Fields as a starter won 7 of his last 8 games.
But that also goes back to like the winning, losing isn't a quarterback stat. So like there's other things that happen in those games. But like he was the quarterback on those teams. So
the Bears, they were winning. So this is only 3. So he had 4 going to last year. So he had 4 out of the last 5 games he won on the Bears when he came back from his injury.
So now the Steelers are in this predicament.
No,
which shouldn't be a predicament because players like to do this all the time. You're not supposed to lose your job to injury, but how do you bench the guy who has gotten better week to week, who is running this offense well and is not scared to use his athletic ability to move the chains? How do you, like, Tomlin? I trust Tomlin to make the right decision here by not letting Fields sit, but Russell can't see the field right now. Like, there's no way.
No, you can't put Russell in. This team's winning. The team's winning. They're moving the ball on offense. Their defense is the number 1 defense in the NFL. Boy, when it's time to play defense and you need something and TJ Watt just shows up. TJ Watt, Joe Alt made the last 2 games. Joe Alt took guys out. He did not take. He ran into TJ Watt today. Welcome to the NFL.
Granted, like, he did a good job on TJ Watt for most of the game. And then the 4th quarter happened. And TJ Watt did that thing where he's just a game breaker, where he's just the best defensive player in football.
4th quarter, TJ Watt comes alive.
He's unreal. I think we have to like start having this conversation about, is TJ better than JJ? I feel like we can have that conversation now.
It's a fair conversation. But here's the Chargers thing. Herbert should never play today, and he reactivated.
Shouldn't have.
So
once Heineke went in, boy, was it a completely different game.
Herbert was having an okay game with the fucking receivers he had, but taking the hits. Like the Steelers defense comes and beats up people. Last 2-3 fucking weeks they come and they fucking hit. They hit. That's why fucking Atlanta was like scared. Fucking Who they shut down last week? Oh, the Denver
Broncos.
They just make people look silly. And Herbert was moving the ball. Can stay on the field.
I'll tell you what. The way they run this offense, they run this really safe offense. The Chargers do, where they will just run the ball under center, just beat you up. Don't let the quarterback make a lot of decisions. Make it easy, like 1-2 read offense, and keep it pushing. Greg Roman is doing a solid job of trying to rebuild like this Herbert confidence that seems to have gotten lost over the last couple of years with Brandon Staley's dumbass fucking offensive coordinators.
More last year.
So like they're playing very simple football, but like down the road, you're gonna have to have some different shit going on because you're not gonna be able to just keep playing this style of football, even if Herbert didn't get hurt. And their defense like still kind of stinks.
They were in the game until their defense started doing dumb penalties. So Derwin James had like 2 fucking dumb penalties at the end in the fourth quarter, and then Khalil Mack had a fucking roughing the passer. They were doing dumb shit. It's not like they weren't. It wasn't, the game wasn't broken.
No, it's there. I'm just saying eventually, but like that's what was my problem with this Chargers team.
The Chargers defense today was the problem just because of their dumb fucking boneheaded penalties. It's just dumb penalties after the play bullshit. Like you give them, they had a stop on third down, and they fucking Derwin James would do a late hit. Like, come on, guys, you gotta help your offense.
Seahawks 24, Dolphins 3. I didn't watch really any of this game outside of the 71-yard like DK Metcalf touchdown, which was a fucking phenomenal throw by Geno to just wait, double pump it, and then just throw it deep because he beat those safeties over the top. The Miami Dolphins are just not a team right now. They're not a team. Skylar Thompson sucks.
I did not like the Dolphins coming into the season because I didn't think their defense was good. And like, okay, they don't have Tua. They still have people on defense. They have names on their defense. They got to do something. I didn't think their defense was good.
And they have weapons on offense. It's just,
well, the only thing Skylar Thompson wasn't throwing the ball out on his first read.
He also is not willing to throw the deep shot at all. Did you see that fucking play before halftime?
Yeah.
Where he just was not, they just didn't rush anybody, and he just refused to throw the fucking Hail Mary.
Yeah, but he's also getting, the offensive line sucked. He was dying at the end of the game with Tim Boyle.
How does Tim Boyle keep getting jobs?
I don't know how. I'm like, Tyler Huntley still, he was dressed. I'm like, Tyler Huntley is way better than Tim Boyle. I know he just got in the fucking camp, but what are you doing? He doesn't need to know the offense if you're just going to run the clock out. You surrendered the game.
I'm pretty sure the Dolphins are on the list of teams that have called about Bryce Young. I'm pretty sure the Dolphins are there.
Here, the Skylar Thompson, the only thing, like the Dolphins, like, okay, when Tua's playing, the ball's out immediately. Like, he wasn't doing that. He wasn't taking the first read, which Tua throws the ball in the middle of the field, first read, anticipation. He wasn't doing that. They also, like, didn't run the ball. Didn't run the ball with your backup quarterback. You got a fucking running back that averages like fucking 8 yards a carry for his career.
Dolphins fucking stink. Like, I'm glad that game didn't pop up at all because that game sucks. This one, though.
I called this one.
When we were doing our picks on Wednesday and talking about this, like who our confidence picks were, I wanted to pick the Raiders, but I'm like, you know what? This game has trap written all over it. Because apparently there's like this stat that the quarterback change or the benching of the quarterback and when a coach gets fired, the very next week, they always cover. They're like they've only lost like twice against the spread. I'm like, oh, really? So I stayed away from this game. This Panthers team is bad, right? But they're not so bad to the point where they could drop. Like they shouldn't have been able to just tweak Andy Dalton in there and all of a sudden their team turned around completely. Like that shouldn't have happened. This Raider team still should have won this game.
It happened last year when Bryce Young got hurt and he missed those couple of games. And they put Andy Dalton in and like, oh, they're fucking moving the ball on offense. I'm like, what? Yeah, because you should have never threw fucking Bryce Young into the fire in the first place when you had Andy Dalton there. You should have just played Andy Dalton last year, the whole season, and then let him learn. You need to learn from it. You can't just throw rookie quarterbacks in the fire like this. They don't fucking understand when guys been at Alabama and has had the best wide receivers and the best offensive line protect him his whole career. He's going from that to fucking Carolina.
Like,
yeah, they have
plugging in Andy Dalton shouldn't have fixed the offensive line the way it did. It shouldn't have caused the defense to play as well as it did today.
But Andy Dalton's also like 6'3" or 6'2", whatever.
I get that, but still, there's no way plugging Andy Dalton automatically makes you score 36 and then outside of like garbage time touchdown, like score 13. Like your defense held.
The Raiders defense
is overrated.
What? I'm not scared of the fucking Raiders defense. When they play a team with receivers, the Raiders are going to get thrown on.
Did you see this? So, let me play the audio here.
Oh, so business decisions. So are we talking defensively?
No, they're talking about that guy. Because apparently he had some drops. And then he wasn't participating on run blocking and blocking on the field and kind of just took himself out of the game.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
It's not happening.
Do the thing. Make it happen.
It's not happening.
Make it happen.
When you guys signed Mike Williams, I think that wasn't going to happen. That trade's not happening.
No. I think it's still going to happen. I don't think that's going to stop it because the Mike Williams thing is only a 1-year thing. Listen, they need help on defense. We have a really good defensive end who hasn't even played football yet this year. So
they're not going to
Hassan Reddick and a bag of Doritos for Devontae Adams.
Antonio Pierce is not going to let their fucking GM fucking trade Devontae Adams for Hassan Reddick. It's not going to happen. Guy who wants a contract, you already paid Crosby and you got Christian Wilkins. They don't need fucking Hassan Reddick. They need fucking corners and linebackers.
I'm just saying, it makes the money work. Raiders fucking stink. They benched Gardner Minshew and put AOC in at the end of the game. And Anthony immediately came to the group chat and was just like, it's no coincidence that once they put Aiden O'Connell in that the offense started moving. I'm like, motherfucker, the game is over.
Yeah, the game's over.
The game's over. He threw a garbage time touchdown. Like, what are we doing here? I was like, there is no real answer at quarterback for the Raiders, and there really hasn't been. The best thing for the Raiders to do would just be like, hey,
the best thing
is let's invest in the future and go forward that way.
The Raiders can get Shedeur,
who had a fucking unbelievable game yesterday.
Sanders would play in Vegas if he chose to fucking as one of the teams that he would choose to play for. Not like the other teams, like, I'm not playing for that team. But Vegas, he would go to.
Shedeur I don't know if anybody else watched that fucking Colorado game yesterday, but boy, I don't care that Buffalo's team really isn't that good. He is. Shedeur is as advertised.
What I said when they go into the Big 12, it's going to really help them out because the Big 12, they don't have no fucking defenses in the Big 12.
Unreal.
You know who's sliding up the first round charts?
And Travis Hunter's also a fucking dog. But we already knew that. Rams 27, Niners 24. Talk about guys who are just beat the fuck up, huh? Kyron Williams potentially just winning me this fantasy matchup this week. Lovely. Against this bitch down here.
I picked the Rams to win this game because I trust Matt Stafford without weapons than I do Brock Purdy without the fucking weapons.
Granted, Brock Purdy played well. He played real well without the weapons there. Like, he and Juwan Jennings fucking killed it. Like, he had himself a fucking game. And, like, Brock did his fucking thing this game. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Brock Purdy. We do that enough. But, like, he played himself a game. But the Rams were able to just win.
Stafford wasn't going to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
There was one turnover in the game. It was from the 49ers. And then, so they have this amazing punt return. They stop them on third down, the 49ers punt, and they have this punt return. Like, good.
Like 65-yard punt return.
So the next play, they throw into the ball of the tight end. 4 flags go up in the fucking air. Do you know the penalties?
No, what were they?
3 penalties on the guy. Illegal contact, defensive holding, and pass interference. So, of course, you take the interference penalty because it was a spot.
Right, because I saw the fucking dude throw his hat because he didn't have any more flags.
All the referees threw the flags, and then the other ref threw the flag through his hat because that one guy committed 3 fucking all of the fucking passing penalties, illegal contact, defensive holding, and pass interference, all in one play to set up the Rams for the game-winning field goal.
Unreal, unfucking real. But shout out to the Rams. Me and you high on the Rams this year. Without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, it's gonna be tough. But this is a big win for them. Big
Rams receivers are gonna die. I was expecting Cooper maybe get his one little hurt, but Nacua I wasn't expecting.
Lions 20, Cardinals 13. This Cardinals team is fucking frisky.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is going to be the good bad team that nobody. The Cardinals team is this team is that nobody wants to play until Call of Duty comes out.
I didn't see too much of this game. I know Marvin Harrison called himself another tutter because he's really good at football.
Cardinals couldn't really do anything on offense. They caught that one throw to Marvin for the touchdown. That's about it. But it's like Aiden Hutchinson right now is a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. This is the last 3 weeks. Aiden Hutchinson, I think, had like another 2.5 sacks today.
He had one.
He was all
Which
over.
means he only has one more sack than Will McDonald. So we love that.
Aiden Hutchinson is balling on defense.
So shout out to the Lions. Shout out to them. I would love to speak more on that game, but just
the designed hook and ladder for a touchdown.
Oh, that was awesome. That was fucking awesome. You don't really get to see that a ton. So when you see it, you're like, hell yeah.
Dan Campbell doing Dan Campbell things. even Mark Schlereth on the announcement was hilarious. He's like, Mark Schlereth was like, man, I hope they're making a 4th down because I know fucking Dan Campbell is itching right now. He's like, Mark Schlereth was like, oh, please just make it 4th down because I know Dan Campbell's going to go for it. He's itching. He wants it to be 4th down. I'm like, oh, Mark was hilarious.
Ravens 28, Cowboys 25. Steven, go ahead.
It's like Mike Zimmer is asleep on the sideline. He's playing with the safeties back. Why? What receivers are you scared of on this fucking team? And they're just going to run the ball on you. Every team's going to run the ball on you until you prove that you can stop it. Like, what are you doing playing with the safeties back? What receiver on Baltimore scares the shit out of you besides Zay Flowers? Like, come on now. They could not.
We have a visitor.
They could not stop the run to save their fucking life.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Hello, fellas. No, Steven, don't stop because of me. Tell me more about what happened today. Tell me more.
It's like they just, that defense is just terrible. When you interview, this is what happens when you play a playoff game that you completely get utterly destroyed, and you do not fire the coaching staff, because pretty soon, if they haven't lost it already, it's going to happen. They're going to lose the locker room. Because they could not stop Derrick Henry to save their life. They could not stop Lamar Jackson to save their life. It's like, do you guys watch film and not know Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they run the ball, right? And the linebackers, what are they doing? The linebackers, the hole is open, and no linebackers ever go to the hole. And you don't get touched till fucking 12 yards down the fucking field.
The Ravens have a Hulk. I don't know if you know.
They finally used him. The Ravens. Because remember what I said on Thursday? You're like, hey, the Raiders run the ball. I'm like, do they?
Let's give Derrick Henry the ball. But here's a problem. The Ravens are known to blow these leads for some reason.
Which is crazy to me. This was even a game.
They were able to come back.
Well, the onside, I can't believe they gave up an onside kick. Like, what are we doing?
Dallas' mistake was after the first onside kick, they should have just never went for the second one. They should have just kicked it. Because if you hold them to 3 and out, which on the second onside kick, they held them to 3 and out. So if you hold them to 3 and out on a regular kick, you have better field position and more time left for you.
That is correct. But old coach didn't want to do that.
Mike McCarthy doesn't know what the fuck, how to manage time.
Once again, that boy Dak Prescott did that thing that Shannon Sharp said. He collects empty calories. Boy, he loaded up on them empty calories today. Because
loading up empty calories when you're trying to make a comeback.
Listen, they did almost win. They came back.
Were they ever going to win this game?
I mean, they only needed to do one more stop.
Right
there. It's one thing if they lost by like 10.
Yeah. If it's only, were they going to come back if they're fucking down 10 with 2 minutes left?
I never thought Dallas was going to win this game.
When they threw that last touchdown, I was like, hold on. Oh, everybody hold the phone here.
Because
we might have something here.
The Ravens were fucking doing that thing where they blow leads, which they've done in the past. The problem is that last play where I'm like, Derrick Henry's on the sideline. I'm like, Lamar Jackson's going to run the ball. And I'm like, if I know who's going to get the ball, how come the defense don't know who's going to get the ball? How come the defensive coaches don't know who's going to get the ball?
I'll tell you what, whoever that DB was, he took out Zay Flowers so fucking fast. He crashed down so hard, but in their defense, that was a great fucking fake handoff.
But that's
great fake handoff.
The DB did his thing. Now the rest of the defense, what are you doing?
Nothing. Yeah, that should have happened.
Like, I could have told you Lamar Jackson was going to run that exact play right there. I'm like, why is Derrick Henry not on the field? Oh, Lamar's running this. There's no way Lamar is not running this.
So let me ask you a question, Steven. Dylan, you can answer this as well. We hold quarterbacks accountable routinely on here. Every week, we hold the quarterbacks responsible. We tell them, hey, if you're the best, you're the quarterback, you're the engine for the offense. It's got to go through you. You got to be better. At what point, and I know he's a great player, at what point do we start looking at Micah Parsons and being like, bro?
That is where I was getting next.
What's happening right now? Because
I was about to say that's where I was my next.
You are supposed to be a Hall of Fame player, and your defense.
This
not
is
Dak Prescott. No. Your defense, sir, is getting ran the fuck over.
This is where I was going to next, because at some point, if you want to be the best, you want to be Defensive Player of the Year, you got to step up like TJ Watt. You got to fucking defense. You also want to get paid.
Because
so I'm over here. I'm doing laundry as I'm watching this game on my phone, and I'm just like, Dak got paid. Dak does his thing. CD got paid because CD's doing his thing. Micah hasn't gotten a contract, and I don't think he's gonna get paid.
Micah always ends up stopping at 12 sacks. He never gets more than 12 sacks.
He talks too much for a guy who doesn't show up when it matters.
And the problem is when they were running zone read, they were going at him. He was the one they were reading, and he was looking lost every time. Every time. I'm like, they're running zone read at you. Just hit the quarterback every time. You're a defensive end. Hit the quarterback every time. That's what you're supposed to be doing on zone read. Hit the quarterback every time.
Because if you're supposed to be this guy who you like, Mike, you and I a couple years ago, we said that Micah Parsons didn't have a position. He was just a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one of my quotes that I immediately just like came back to. Is us just like he was just there. He just did whatever the fuck he needed to, wherever he wanted. I think the biggest mistake the Cowboys did was moving him just to be defensive end, as opposed to being a linebacker and being everywhere.
The problem is everybody, when they need to stop, that's the player. Everybody that has someone in their defense, their player. TJ Watt, whether he'll come and he'll force a fumble or get a sack, or he'll stop the run on 4th and 1, and he'll hit the fucking running back in the backfield and stop the run. They always make plays.
TJ Watt, Myles Garrett.
Let me give you a comparison, and you tell me if it's too harsh or not yet. Micah, and not in a social way, because this guy is just the worst. But is Micah Parsons the NFL equivalent to Rudy Gobert? Because when it's time, so we're talking about it, he doesn't have a position. But the reason we were saying that he can't line up at linebacker is exactly what happened today. It's because exactly what Steven's saying. If it's 3rd and 2 and he's in the linebacker, he's on the mic, I'm running the ball right at him because we're going to move him out the way. And in the playoffs, what happens? We're going right at Rudy Gobert and putting him in pick and roll hell because I know he can't stop it. I know he does all this other stuff during the regular season. That's great. He lines up the stats, the analytics, the advanced. But when the money's on the table, I know I can put him in a position where I can attack him.
He's got to be the one to make these plays. He's got to be like, I'm taking the fucking game over.
He can't stop the run.
He's got to stop the run. He can't stop the run. You have to earn the right to rush the passer. How do you earn the right to rush the passer? You stop the run. Everybody has to stop the run.
This is what I'm saying. If it's 3rd and 2 and he's not on the line, I'm running directly at him. Like it's to me, that's the comparison right now.
Undersized.
They are light in the pants. They are They are fast. I will give Dallas defense that they are fast. They can fly.
in free agency where there was guys out there and you didn't even give them a phone call or have them come to visit. You didn't have a talk with them.
There's no reason Stephon Gilmore's not a Cowboy again this year.
There's no reason
Gilmore's not a Cowboy.
None.
Why is Gilmore not? You could have gave him the same deal the Vikings did.
Because the Vikings gave him jack shit.
There were better linebackers, but you went and signed Eric Kendricks 5 years too late. There were better defense coordinators that you brought in to interview. You could have had Rex Ryan. You could have fucking called fucking Vrabel and got Vrabel in the building.
I'll tell you, you bring Vrabel in the building.
Yes.
A lot of this, he's not the head coach, but a lot of this undisciplined shit.
Yeah, the undisciplined shit would not fucking happen. That's what I want. You need a guy that's not disciplined. All those fucking, they didn't have that many penalties today for once, but that dumb shit
out of position a lot.
It won't be dumb shit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like the line, every run play, fucking, there's nobody there for fucking 8 yards. There's no linebacker meeting a fullback in the hole. The fullback has nobody to fucking block. And one thing we said, I've been calling for weeks with the Ravens is get under center and hand Derrick Henry the ball. Get under center and let Derrick Henry get going. Stop running out of fucking shotgun. Get under center. You got a big 300-pound fullback. Get under center with your fullback if you're going to run the ball and make them fucking they know what's coming. They got to stop it. Like Cam Ward yesterday. We're running right here.
I promise you, watching the Titans, that's why it's frustrating. Derrick Henry is not washed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, he is not washed. If you give that man the ball 20 to 25 times, he's going to do this to you every time.
Well, the problem is they don't do it.
Is just give him the ball 20 to 25 times. I promise you, he's going to have anywhere from 90 to 120 every time.
The problem is everybody's getting all misconstrued. Like, oh, we thought y'all wanted the Ravens to throw the ball. No, we wanted the Ravens offense to evolve. That's why the shit didn't work with Greg Roman, because it didn't evolve. Then Todd Monken comes. It's like there's no reason why in the fucking second half of the fucking playoffs against the Chiefs you don't run the ball at all like 2 times.
We don't need all that fancy stuff.
No, we said we wanted the offense to evolve. Yes, we wanted you to keep running, but not that much. But we wanted it to evolve into something.
Because at some point, I'm gonna end it on this. At some point, I know, and we'll hear it. We'll hear it tomorrow on all the sports talk shows because everyone's gonna blame Dak because that's what everybody loves to do.
Even though
at some point, Dak has got to Dak is literally down 2 touchdowns in the blink of an eye these last 2 weeks. Like before you can blink, you're in a double-digit deficit. You tell me, even Patty, you tell me what quarterback is just gonna be like, all right, cool, let's bring him back, boy. Like, you got to give him a chance. Like, this is getting bad.
Right? They're driving. CeeDee Lamb fumbles the ball. Now what? Dak's going to get the blame. What? The guy didn't turn the ball over today. And they still got the defense. Eventually, the defense has to make a stop. It don't fucking matter how good the offense played, because even if they would have went toe for toe, the Ravens make one stop, your defense don't.
Like, I heard Shannon Sharp last week saying, Dak gets the same chances to score as the other team. But we got to be realistic. We got to live in a world where, like, you're not going to score every single time. Like, your defense got to get a stop at some point. At some point. Them other guys on the other defense get paid too. So they're going to stop Dallas a few times.
Looking for a fucking contract. All those guys looking for a contract. You got to fucking do something. At some point, somebody's got to step up. Where's the leader? Who's the leader on your defense?
It's Micah. It's the guy talking.
We know who the leader of the Cowboys is. He's also the leader on offense, but you have your other leaders need to step up.
It's the guy talking.
Get in somebody's face and say, hey, man.
It's the guy talking, saying everybody got to step up except him.
Yeah, he's got to step up
because he's been real quiet in a lot of big games. Quiet in big games, and you can't do that.
No, you got to show up.
All of these teams, like even the bad teams, right, have guys in big moments who step up.
They step up. They make the game-saving tackle, the fourth down stopping tackle, the third down play that forces an incompletion on the tight end, or they make the quarterback adjust his throw that it forces an incompletion.
Like, I've seen Jeffrey Simmons do this plenty of times. I've seen Quinnen Williams be the guy. I've seen TJ Watt. I've seen Aaron Donald his entire career. I've seen Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati do it. I've seen fucking Roquan Smith do it. I've seen
Bolton do it. You see Nick Bolton do it in the game we just got done watching.
Yup. I've seen fucking homeboy in Denver. What the fuck is his name from Oklahoma? Do it. Fucking outside linebacker. He affects games. Like
Von Miller do it all the time. You need something, Von Miller would come step up.
Like everybody has a guy. Like even the bad teams have it. There's no way that the guy that we're talking about being like a top 3 player in his position just ghosts all too frequently, all too much, while Dak has to sit there and eat shit.
It's too early for the Rudy Gobert comparison because Rudy Gobert is actually one defensive player of the year.
That is a great stat. That is a great point.
At all.
Meanwhile, Micah just can't even get there. He gets to the dance and doesn't win.
He always ends up at 12 and a half. He never gets more than 12 stacks. I'm pretty sure he's got like 1 right now. You can't. You gotta. Something's got to give. You gotta step up. You gotta be the one that's accountable. You're also looking for a contract,
and you gotta prove that you're worth it.
Yeah,
because you can't get paid off potential.
Because
then you end up with Daniel Jones.
You're gonna be free. You're gonna be getting that franchise tag that you're not gonna like.
Nope.
So we have to talk about this game, Dylan.
Which one? This one right here?
Yes.
No, we don't have to. It's just that we're out of games.
We know what's going to happen.
I don't know. The Jags always play the Bills tough. So
Giants going to throw a pick in the fourth quarter. They're going to lose.
The Jags always play the Bills tough. The Bills always struggle against Jags. The Josh Allen crime always happens. And somehow the Jags, what's the last 2 times they faced? The Jags won. And that's against a Bills team with better weapons.
This Monday night slate is not very good.
Trash tomorrow.
It's very bad. It's a very bad slate. It's Jags Bills.
There's another double slate.
And it's Commanders Bengals.
Cincinnati, Washington, which is just, oh my goodness.
Ooh. Yeah. The communists are going to get torched with T. Higgins back.
Mike.
That defense is terrible.
Can I ask the question now that you told me not now to?
Yes, I was very angry earlier. I'm sorry.
You were very angry. So now that I have you here.
I'm sorry. That was not. Steven, I really, I didn't yell at Dylan, but I was not happy.
I knew what was up. I hit it with the thumbs up reaction.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to apologize to Dylan later because that wasn't nice. It wasn't nice.
When do we consider moving to Mason Rudolph?
We can't yet. We can't because Tennessee's put themselves in a position. Once they do that, there's no coming back. Once Mason Rudolph runs out there and there's no injury, we can't go back. We can't go Mason then back to Will. Then if Will goes and sits down, then that's where he stays.
Well, here it's a new coaching staff, and you didn't draft him. It's not your liability. He's not gonna. He'll be on the team next year, maybe, but they have no ties to keep Will Levis. The fucking coaches are always like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Every fucking time.
Like like I said to Dylan last week, it's what's frustrating about Will Levis is that you can see the talent there. He's too good to be doing the dumb shit that he does. It's not like he just isn't good enough and he's doing this stuff. He's having "what are you doing" moments. Like, what is going through your brain? Why are you having brain lapse? You're too good. You are too good of a player to do this dumb shit consistently. Like, I can't, because all this dumb shit that he does, do we have any doubt right now that he's still better than Mason Rudolph? He's still better than him. I know once Mason Rudolph comes trucking out, we are the Carolina Panthers. That is it. That's it. We're not winning the game.
Or
I know what Will out there, we got a chance to win.
Or you get a guy who's played quarterback at the NFL level for a few years, and he just doesn't make the same mistakes.
On Pittsburgh, he's played well. It's not act like he hasn't, especially last year too.
He's not that good. Like, he's not that good, but
he's not that good.
What if he just gave you the bare minimum without the turnovers? Then you might be in a different position.
I don't think so, because Will still makes unbelievable. He still makes throws. He makes high quality throws.
Yeah, but outside of this week, because this week is the only one in the last 2 weeks where Will didn't lose you the game.
This
week he didn't lose you this game.
This week is why weeks 1 and 2 bothered me so much, because we should be 2-1 right now. And we had a bad game where we got outplayed. This is the first week we got outplayed, in my opinion. And now we're 0-3 and our season's over. Our season's over. Like, we can fight for that last playoff seat, but like, unless Will gets unbelievably hot, which
he was the reason you guys lost those last 2 games. So turnovers.
But like, what if let's say you replace Mason Rudolph from Will Levis there, and you just don't get those turnovers? These weeks might look different.
I don't know, because I don't know if the offense is going to move like it was moving with him. Like, we're moving the ball.
You know what happens though? You put Mason Rudolph in, you might run the ball.
I mean, Tony Pollard hasn't looked bad, so maybe that's not a bad thing, but
you can't look bad if you don't get the ball.
I don't know if we're built like that, though.
Look good if you don't get the ball.
It doesn't. It also doesn't hurt that your offensive line stinks.
That's why I'm like, it's.
But like, the turnovers aren't the offensive line's fault. Like, maybe the fumbles from time to time. Yeah, last year's fumble, not an offensive line fault. That's a Will Levis fault. The fumble today, that's absolutely your offensive line's fault. It just turns out
that's a sack.
He got ran over.
Yeah,
he got ran the fuck over.
Destroyed.
That pick six though
held on to the ball, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, come on."
That pick six though, that was not the offensive line's fault. He stared old boy down the entire way.
Stared it down.
Got Alexander either.
That's just like, well, kind of deserved that one. It's just, at some point, Callahan's going to be looking at him just like,
I'm not tired.
Like, I have nothing to lose benching you because we're losing because of you.
We lose a couple more games. There's going to be nothing that this
couple. I feel like you got one more. If you got one more where he's got a crazy turnover in it, and he's done.
The Titans next week.
Who?
What's on the schedule for the Titans next week?
I believe, yeah, because we
got to play. Okay, you guys should beat the Dolphins.
The Dolphins at the right.
No, that's it. That's it, because that's a Monday Night Football game. So that's going to be on national TV. So if Will does something stupid on national TV,
playing backup quarterbacks,
that's it.
Like, you shouldn't lose to this Dolphins team.
No, we should win our next 2 games.
You should beat the dog shit out of this Dolphins team. Because they're playing Skylar Thompson. You cannot lose to this game.
Our defense should have a field day
next week.
Like, even if you're playing Snoop Huntley, like, he's also not that good. So like, you should win this game.
We should win.
This is an inexcusable game to lose.
We should win our next 2.
This one is a weird one.
The Colts stink.
Yeah, but it's also the divisional game.
They stink.
But you guys also stink.
They stink. They stink.
Well, they're above y'all because they won today.
The way you feel about New England, that's how I feel. Fuck them. They
won today.
Yeah, but
I could care less.
This may also be like the bad quarterback bowl, like it was today.
If it resembles anything like that fucking one today against the Bears, oh my god, have the bleach on standby.
Yeah, if the Colts win this game, Mike might not talk to me for a week.
Colts just say, you know what? Here, Jonathan Taylor, go.
But this game here, y'all should. Mike, if you guys lose to this Dolphins team, pack it up. Pack it up. You can't go 0-4
unless Tyreek goes off. But I mean,
you can't go 0-4. Now, you said you saw the ceiling at nine wins originally. How far has it strayed in 3 games from those 9 wins?
6.
Ooh.
My ceiling for Tennessee was like 5 wins. And that was before freaking Will Levis. That was before
the Will Levis meltdowns.
I think this Tennessee team is good. I think it's trash. When telling Dylan this beginning, I said this Tennessee team is trash.
I think the Titans defense is good. I just don't think their defense can afford to stay on the field as much as they are.
As much as they have to, and have to overcome as much as they have to.
I just and Mike, I'm glad you said that, because whenever I would say this last year about the Jets defense, you would be like, but any defense that's got to stay on the field is going to lose.
Tennessee doesn't have
Jets
a top
week
5 defense, so they can't stay on the field as much as they do. They have a top
Jets week 1 against the Niners on the field the whole defense. Fucking game. Jets week 3 last year against the Cowboys on the field the entire fucking game. I don't care how good your defense is. If you got to be on the field for 35 minutes, you're going to have a hard time.
That's exactly what happened to the Saints today. They fucking were on the field fucking forever. Eventually, Saquon fucking saved the Eagles.
Saquon is a bad man.
Yeah, the Saints defense was on the field for fucking 50 fucking minutes today.
I hear you, Steven, but that run...
Dog.
Not a lot of
guys.
We
all came to the conclusion. Like when we were talking about that game, we were like, hold up, preface this. Saquon's a fucking dog.
Saquon's nasty, man.
Saquon,
because this is the second game they won because of him.
Because he
didn't get a carry till the second quarter.
Well, that's negligence. That's malpractice.
I told y'all Kellen Moore is going to do stupid. We got Saquon now. Yeah, he's only get the ball like 15, 18 times. Well, how many? What's his final carry? 17?
Yeah, 18.
It's not going to be in the 20s. It's only going to be Saquon's only going to get the ball over 20 times on the Kellen Moore offense if they're beating the fucking shit out of a team by like fucking 30 points.
Because boy,
Kellen Moore, he's proving me right every time.
Hurts struggled today.
Dub.
Doesn't mean you can win with bad quarterback play. The Jets won 7 games back-to-back years with bad quarterback play.
Dub.
Yeah, Saquon saved Jalen Hurts and the bad coaching today. That was
Sirianni needs to be fucking fired.
Sirianni was bad.
Like
Kellen Moore was bad.
I think like you need to fire him no matter what the outcome is at the end of this year. You have to fire him. I don't care if you make the playoffs. Fire him. Because Mike and I said on fucking Wednesday show, he's an asshole. And then what makes it worse is he's an asshole and he puts the team in shit situations, shit circumstances. Fucking fire him. Do everybody a favor.
The coaching, Philly should have lost that game because the coaching and Saquon bailed him out. The coaching was bad today. It wasn't even fucking play. It was just these dumb decisions. Like, what are you doing? It's not like Jake Elliott's a bad kicker.
Take your points. Take the points when you can.
Guy's got a career-long 61-yard field goal. Outdoors in the fucking bad weather on Philly. I watched that fucking kick. In the Superdome? No weather?
Before I get
all
out
right.
of here.
We're doing an outro right now. We've reached the end of our show. Thank you guys for stopping by. Mike, thank you. You're always welcome here. You're honorary Barretto. We all look alike. We'll be back next week to recap week 4. I'm Dylan Barretto, Podcast Poppy. I'm with Big Brother Steven Barretto. And I'm with Big Mike, dealing with the suffering loss of the Tennessee Titans go 0-3. And we will see you next